That a Sunday Night Live show. I'm Brad.
I'm Susan.
And happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
A day late. All right.
Yeah.
We are just getting ripping.
I think we should blame daylight savings time.
Savings time. Although it gave us an extra hour.
But
so
it
that's
still
why
threw
we're
us
late.
Off
yeah.
Somehow.
It threw us off somehow.
Yeah.
The clock on the microwave still said,
it was
still
freaking
an
me out all day.
Hour later.
Yeah. You would think we would have been early because of daylight savings, but
You would think. You would think, but we're not. So
there we are.
Anyway. So before I jump into everything, as you'll notice, there is no video out today. And you'll also notice in the background on YouTube, because if you're on Instagram, you can't see squat duty because it stinks. Go over to, I'm just going to start hating on Instagram. Come on over to YouTube, Fix This Build That Live. We're there right now. We did not get the video out. I was knocked out Thursday.
Oh my gosh.
And a portion of Friday.
It was,
I had like a migraine.
I've never
and like
seen
stomach
him.
pains. It was bad. And so
it was bad. It was
I thought
bad.
the COVID's had me.
We thought it was the COVID.
We thought the COVID's got me.
I mean, seriously, like we're joking right now, but like I've never seen you Brad will get
bad.
fever, not fevers. He did not have a fever. Brad will get headaches, little headaches every once in a while. And I'm sure you've had a migraine at some point in your life, but I've never seen it.
Splitting migraine.
Oh,
it was,
man.
It was no bueno.
So he was out of commission Friday. And that was the day that we were going to make it happen for the video,
right.
So that we couldn't really argue with the whole body shutting down on you.
That just did not work very well.
No.
So, but I'm feeling great now.
Yes.
Felt great yesterday. Feel great today.
Yep. We went trick-or-treating last night.
We went trick-or-treating, and it was
fun. It was really fun.
We had Ryu from Street Fighter.
Yep.
Our oldest was Ryu.
Yep.
Our middle guy was Death.
Not the Grim Reaper. He will correct you. He was just Death.
Just Death. He had a scythe.
He was the cutest Death you've ever
Glowing
seen.
Glowing eyes. And then our youngest, our daughter, was
Catwoman. Meow. She doesn't like it when you do that.
No, she doesn't.
I was calling her Kitty Cat Woman, and she was like,
and they got a ridiculous amount of candy.
Oh my word, the amount of candy.
It was like COVID candy. They were making it rain because there's a lot less people out.
We had candy shoots. There were candy shoots when we were out. People
bags. Everybody was being safe and everything.
Oh yeah, and
we
the
all
candy
had the masks on the kids.
Yeah.
And we just stayed away from the houses.
Right. And a lot of people had a bowl out, or they would have them prepackaged.
Most people did the bowls.
But the prepackaged ones were insane.
It was prepackaged. It was
8 pieces of premium candy per bag.
They got so much candy.
Yes.
All right.
They've been eating it all day.
Before we jump into any more details, and we'll hear about your Halloween.
Yes.
We'd love to hear what's going on with you guys.
We did not dress up, by the way. I feel like we didn't mention that.
We didn't.
We're party poopers.
I was a YouTuber for Halloween. I want to welcome
stressed out mom.
Some new members to the Builders Club this week.
Oh, yes.
We had Alberto Ontiveros. I'm hitting that inflection there. We had, he was over on Patreon, and then over on YouTube, we always have some interesting names over on YouTube.
Yes.
We had Kill Deadpool, Moses Fafag, and Budy Dharmanto. So, welcome to all those folks. Welcome. If you have no clue what the Builders Club is, that's basically the inner circle of the Fix This Build That audience, and they get weekly updates, and so they already knew that I was having issues because I talked about it in my little update. They get weekly updates as well as free plans and the credits in the video, different things for different tiers. So if you want to go check that out, you can head over to fixthisbuildthat.com/Builders Club. Last week I said /live. I don't think everybody goes over there, but that's okay. It's all good. It's all good. They see it on their own terms. So yes. Anyway, that's what's been going on. But let's see who we have here. Who do we have over on the?
Let's see. We've got
on the Grams. I know. Let's see here. We got Travis. We got Keith. What's up, Keith? RLL, which is Rory, I do believe. I was like, dude, what's your name? Rory.
Got Big Willie's
Big Willie. Oh gosh, they're talking about the Titans. Man, Titans lost to the Bengals.
It was pretty embarrassing. And I'm from Cincinnati.
I lived in Cincinnati for 13 years. She did for
I was a Bengals fan forever. It's kind of a win-win, I guess.
It's not a win-win.
It's not.
A big
I'm just
loss.
trying to make it better.
It's a big
L.
Sad. Nobody should lose to the Bengals.
Anyway, we're not going to dwell.
That's right. What's up? We got Scott over here. We got Rick, Brian, Jill. What's up?
Yep.
Elliot. And by the way, Jill says, love your shirt.
Yeah.
New merch coming soon. A little sneak peek. a little mistakes were made. And if you're on Instagram, it probably is all messed up because it's flipped backwards. Guess what? On YouTube, we are front facing. So bad. So head over to Fix This Build That Live, the channel on the YouTube. But yes, shirt. We haven't quite launched these yet, but I got them in. We have mistakes were made.
Test shirts.
I have a couple other shirts. I have an FTBT simple logo shirt. So the hat logo right here on the kind of a pocket tee. It's not a pocket tee, but it's on the chest.
If we had a pocket.
Like a pocket. If there's a pocket there, it would be on it.
Yes.
And then the other Fix This Build That shirts, they're going to be in the larger sizes. Any size that you want, you'll be able to purchase.
And we'll throw some new fun shirts in there.
Yeah, so let me know what you guys think about the new shirts, and I'm excited. I think we're going to launch those. We might launch them actually on the live, and they'll be able to be purchased through the YouTube. We're using Teespring for the service there. So
Richard says he loves the upside down A. Yes. There was a lot of debate about the design, but we like it.
I did a poll and everything, and this is what we came up with. Yep. All right, we got Chris from Texas. What's up, my man? JPN over here on Instagram. Brico Passion, what's up? Mohammed, Up North Woodworks, what's up, my man? And what's here? Vancraft Fit Outs. We got all kinds of folks joining over here. And I hope a lot of them are coming over to YouTube. If you came over, if you're on YouTube and you came over from Instagram, let us know. We'll give you a big shout out. Angelica, originally from Mexico, now in Alabama. What's up?
Cool.
Angelica.
Welcome.
And Wolf Creek says, nice, I need a shirt. Can I get that shirt with a V-neck? Not Barth. We don't have a V-neck option at the moment, but we have a couple different options. There's like a tri-blend, which is like super, super soft, but it's a little bit thinner. And then this one, which is like the 100% cotton. And then there's another one that is
really nice.
It is.
Yeah, it's very soft.
Is it wind? Oh, it's plain. And then we do have it in women's shirt sizes as well. Not only sizes, but actual women's shirts.
Yes.
Two different
I'm so
types.
excited. I could have an FTBT shirt that fits me right.
I think there's actually a women's V-neck, potentially.
Okay.
I don't know.
Might not be exactly what he was looking for.
No, but I think that may have been a female.
Oh.
So there you go.
Not Barth?
Not Barth. It doesn't say I am Barth. It says not Barth.
All right.
And she just said she was Angelica like 5 seconds ago.
Oh, I thought it was the same person.
I don't know. I may have messed them up. But anyway.
Anyway, we have lots of shirts.
Soon.
Check it out. Well, soon. Check it out soon.
Yes.
Oh, look. Jessie says she came from IG. Jessie,
I love it. Jessie Zavala, what is up? Awesome.
Yeah.
So we.
How about sleeveless or a tank top?
Oh yeah,
just have like the suns out, guns out shirts.
Yeah,
you know?
Sleeveless. You've got to do that on your own. That's like the only
that's
real
a DIY.
way. Yeah, you got to cut the arms out, but you got to do it. You have to do it, down too. You can't just cut the sleeves off. You got to like cut down.
I feel like who would rock that?
Me.
Our middle, as well. Our middle kid. He'd be like, he's got a 6-pack, and he's like, how old is he? He's 10.
He's 10, of course. He's
had one since he was like 4.
He came out of the womb and he was like,
like he just naturally has muscles.
He's like super shredded.
And he's
crazy.
very proud of them, but he doesn't know how to pose, so it doesn't.
And we're not helping him either.
No. He always sticks his gut out. I'm like, that's not how you do it, buddy. Anyway.
So so I've got the cabinets going here. You can see it, the little 15-inch guy. I do have the door for that. Actually, I just put finish on it. It's sitting over there. And waiting to be installed. So tomorrow I'm going to jump in and make 2 more of these, and then I think I'm going to just go ahead and bite the bullet. I probably won't launch on Tuesday. I won't have it done by tomorrow. I won't launch Tuesday just because that's election day. And so I might go ahead and launch Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. So, election day is going to be busy for people.
Oh, election day is going to be, people are going to be.
Yeah, although I feel like a lot of people have already voted.
Well, but everyone's going to be watching the results.
I mean, that's true. Yeah,
so not everybody,
ready.
But a lot of people are going to be watching the results. So
yeah.
So hopefully that will come out ASAP. Again, I'm done announcing when we're going to have them because.
Like, I have to say, it was like fate was working against us. Brad was like cranking out cabinets. He's like doing stuff. He's working hard. That might have been part of the reason. It was like you were staying up very late at night to work.
I think that was why.
And then your body was just like, nope. Guess what? Like, you're not in charge.
Which is actually the first time this has ever happened to me because lots of times I stay up till 2 a.m. or later finishing up a project. But this time my body said, nope, I think we're done with this.
Nope. Yeah.
And so, whatever. Papa Fob, I'm waiting too, my man. It is coming. He says, I'm waiting for that thing. Chase Tinsley, what inspires you?
His wife.
My wife does
every day.
Inspire me. I get a lot of inspiration from a lot of different places, and it could be YouTube or Instagram or like basically any place that I'm consuming media. I get inspiration from. So there's not like I don't have like a go-to. I don't have a muse, a woodworking muse. Sometimes it's walking around. I've talked about a lot of times hotels. I love looking at hotels because they always have like really cool looking, typically they have cool like modern looking furniture. And so I get designs from those or ideas, but it's usually made really poorly. So it's more just a design or an aesthetic that I look at. But yeah, lots of different places. And then what I typically do is I get the inspiration and then I form it into something that I have my own take on or make it better or how I see it better. I'm not super creative from like scratch. And so I typically like to get ideas from other places.
You have done creative things from scratch.
I have, but not...
Do you like sell yourself short? The hidden drawers?
That one's not from scratch. Like people have made hidden drawers.
Yeah, but you figured it all out.
I know. Like
creative engineering.
Right. Well, that's what I'm talking about. I was like, I don't want to do it like this other guy did it. I'm going to do it like I watched Dustin Penner. Like Dustin Penner's got some great secret drawer videos. And I was like, well, I'm not just going to do it the same way he did it.
Gotcha.
Because that'd be a ripoff. And so I figured it out on my own.
True. Very true.
And there you go.
That's
all right. That.
People are just saying hi. Evidently, we're covering the football. Saints won. Evidently, the Packers lost at home. My grandma would be so sad.
Boy.
She's a big Packers fan.
The mistakes were made. Yes, the Titans' mistakes were made.
I mean, we don't want to talk about it anymore. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just covering this, but I don't really see any questions over here yet. People are just chatting. It's very chatty on the YouTube, so you should come over because you'll get to know people. There's lots of conversations. So if you're social and you want to meet other cool people, come to the YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're all here.
Let's see here. Daniel Robert Wilder finished up the sideboard cabinet build. Really appreciate the plans and the help. That's awesome, man. That was an oldie but a goodie. That was actually, what was that? That was the first video I think I shot in earnest, but I didn't release it for a while because I was so overwhelmed. I shot way too much video. I had like 12 hours of footage.
Which one was this?
The sideboard cabinet. I had like 12 hours of footage, and so I put it on the back burner for a long while and didn't release it. But yeah, it's still sitting right behind that wall behind you guys, or behind us.
Yeah, it's right on the other side.
And it's good. Tim, thank you, my man. I appreciate that. Let's see here. And he's saying they love it. That's awesome. Yeah, if you guys also love high quality video over on Instagram, come on over to YouTube. Fix This Build That Live. It's the second channel we have, and it's wonderful. We have a whole bunch of folks over here that are hanging out and chatting, and it's
giving me
Just
compliments.
way better. Let's see here. Brian says pocket hole plywood box. I know ideally you want the pocket holes on the outside of the box, but can you get away with having them on the inside? So I'll address two parts of that just because I don't know that everybody knows that.
Okay.
I didn't have.
Address it.
These are like slimy because I did a test, and if you can tell, I'm sure you can tell on YouTube way better because the quality's better. We're just gonna keep harping on that. That I did these two, and so what would be? Let's just do a little guessing game here. What would be your guess of what these two finishes are? So this is unfinished.
Yeah. So just
and
think
then
it in
these
your
are both
head.
finished. So.
Because
let's see here. Well, so how would the big? So this would be on the left. This would be on their left.
Yeah, but like on
Instagram,
one's gonna be one,
YouTube.
one's gonna be the other.
Well, this can be on the right on Instagram because Instagram sucks. So it's gonna. I'm just gonna really start harping. That's gonna be the title of. That's gonna be the title. Instagram sucks. That's the title of this week's video. No, Instagram's fine. I love the people on Instagram. It's just that the thing is, it flips it backwards. So left. What are we thinking? Right. What are we thinking? These are two finishes. Unfinished, finished. Let me know your thoughts. Okay. And what I was trying to do, Travis, what's up, my man? One thing that doesn't suck on Instagram is Travis.
He says on YouTube you can see the grain.
On YouTube you can see the 1080p, baby.
That's right.
So what I was trying to do, if you guys can see back here, I don't want to kill a dead horse, but you can on YouTube. On Instagram. But so what I was trying to do is match this. So what I ran into was a problem that the Baltic birch that I bought
Oh my gosh.
long ago was much more mapley, much more peachy. You know, maple has that like kind of peachy look to it, and this had a much darker tone to it. And then when I got the new batch, it was like super light.
Really
and so
light.
I was trying to match a little bit, and neither of those unfortunately matched very well.
No.
And so I had to kind of take the best of.
This was very frustrating for Brad.
I was like, I'm going to come back to your question. I just totally skipped over Brian's question, by the way. Brian, remind me if I don't come back to your question. I'll come back to it. Sorry about that.
It's right here.
Yeah, I see it. Oil versus water, polyacrylic versus polyurethane, which are actually the same thing, Rory. Oil versus water, poly. So that's what I would have guessed as well, but it's not. These are actually both water-based polyurethane. So one is a amber. So this is amber. So these are both Halcyon from Total Boat. They are a sponsor of mine. And this is the amber finish. And then this one is just the clear, which is the same thing as polyacrylic, or a water-based clear polyurethane. So these are actually both water-based finishes. It's just one has like the amber tinting to it and one does not. So there you go. You can
Instagram here.
You can get the different colors.
No. Yeah.
Both with water-based polyurethane. I was kind of surprised about that, but there you go.
Jesse says it matches on Instagram.
So it looks the same.
No problem. Reality does not matter.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So this one was just too yellow for me. I think it matches. It does match this a little bit better.
It is pretty yellow.
But it's so yellow, where this is like it's just more of like a peachy, warm.
It's got more of like a brown undertone.
Yeah, it's got a brown undertone, and this is like so yellow.
Yellow with yellow.
And I've always hated.
Falling over.
I've always hated the yellow.
I've been drinking.
Of an amber finish on pine or maple or birch, and so I'm going with this one.
Yeah.
And the doors are actually a little bit darker, but
Brad is a very particular person. You know what you like. And that was aggravating, right? When you went to go get the stuff.
I was so upset. And quite honestly, I may replace them later. Or may replace the door fronts if I can get that darker wood.
Yeah. I feel like I was talking you down. Like, you can always,
I know.
If you get new wood later that matches better, you just change the doors out.
Yes.
But did you ever actually answer the question?
No, I didn't. So, Brian,
I'm keeping him honest.
Thank you.
Thank
you, my lady.
No problem.
So, what Brian was asking about is if you have a plywood box, which are going to be butt joints, what you should do is have the pocket holes on the outside. So the reason behind that is if the pocket holes are here, then the screw is going to be coming in this way. And that is absolutely true. Because that way the screw is coming down and it's getting I have
screws handy. Of course, just right there. It's like we planned this.
Hold this like that.
Do you want me to hold something? I've got two hands.
Here, just hold that right there. So if you have this, then your screws are going to be going into the meat of the wood versus coming up like this and getting close to the edges and having potential blowout. And that's going to be your issue. So plywood's going to be a little more forgiving, Brian, because of the cross plies. If you do that on solid wood and the grain is running in that direction, it will have a tendency to split much easier. So that's what typically happens if you go against. It's obviously not as strong of a hold, but you're kind of isolating a lot of the fibers there at the end, and what you can get is splitting, and that's what typically happens when it goes south. But if you do it from the outside, then it's going to be a much stronger joint. So you can do it, and with plywood, you're going to have a better chance at it. Just go slow, like don't just cram it in there, just kind of creep up on it, and if you hear it splitting or see it bulging or splitting, then you can back out and clamp it or do something to try to help support that. So, but it can be done. Is there a classic wood? He says, hey guys, quick sanding question. Why progressive grits? Why can't I just go from 120 grit, water pop it?
I like this question.
And go straight.
Like, why do we have to dilly-dally around with all these little layers? Let's just get to the good stuff.
So
it's all going to be the same in the end, right?
Yeah, potentially.
That's his favorite word. That and I don't disagree. So, which means he disagrees.
Classic wood. You would be correct
Just go with theory, that. Just take it.
If all you're concerned with is the feel. So if you just want the feel of 320 grit, yeah, absolutely. You go 120 grit, water grain pop it, go to 320, and you're good. And you would get the same feel because the top layer and the top fibers would be abraded with the 320 grit. The problem is that 320, so water popping does nothing to eliminate swirl marks. The reason you go through progressive grits is to eliminate the swirl marks behind it. So the rule of thumb is that you should go up 50% of the value of the grit for the next one. So you go from 80 to 120, because half of 80 is 40, 80 plus 40, 120. 120 to 180. A lot of people will go to 80 to 150. So, that's kind of a rule of thumb, the 50% increase in grit. But you can go, I typically go 80, 150, 220, or 80, 120, 180. No, yeah, 80, 120, 180. 220, but then like 180 to 220 is stupid. So a lot of times if I'm doing that, I'll just end. It just depends on what sandpaper I have. But typically I do 80, 150, 80, 120, 220.
I'm confused.
Sometimes I'll go 120 to 150. It's just like the whole idea is look at your results. And if it's getting the swirl marks out, and the swirl marks, if you're using a random orbital sander, if you're going slow enough, if you're going in low enough progressions of grits, if you were going like right by the book, like 80, 100, 120, 150, 180, 220, 320, then it's for sure going to take them out. And that's basically like any type of, like if you're polishing, like if they're polishing plastics or epoxy or anything like that, you have to get rid of the swirl marks before it. And that's why you go slowly, because if you just go up a little bit, it will erase those swirl marks behind it. But if you have a super deep gash out of a 120, a 320 is not going to have enough abrasion to get rid of the 120. So that's the long answer to the question. Classic. Let's see here. Travis. Travis likes the shelving. He's throwing jabs. He's saying he likes the shelving on Instagram because Instagram's vertical. So the YouTubers just see the bottom of the shelving.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah, that's a good one. I feel you, Travis.
That's a good point.
I feel you. All right.
It does look nice up there.
Yes.
We're just chatting over here, chatting about lollygagging and fiddle farting around.
Yeah, lollygagging and fiddle farting. It's all the same.
I don't think I've seen. No, there was another question. Hold on. I saw it. It says question. I appreciate this. Razor had a question. You couldn't get more clear than that. I was thinking of getting into welding. Do you think I should start with a flux core or MIG? I'm not sure on the gas for MIG. I looked up how to buy the gas. Very confusing.
Yeah, Razor, I'll cut through all that confusion for you because it's very straightforward.
All right.
MIG welding, what you need is 75-25. So 75% CO2, 25% argon. And you can just say, I need a 75-25 mix for MIG. They'll know exactly what you're talking about, and they'll give you the right thing. So don't worry about that. And then if you're going to be doing TIG welding, you would do 100% argon. And so, MIG welding and TIG welding are both, if you do it, you can do it shielded, but you can use flux core, which you're talking about, which doesn't need gas shielding. It's a mess, man. Comparatively, it is a disaster because basically so let me preface this with, I am no welding expert, but I know in theory a little bit. When you are welding with MIG, it basically shields. When you're doing gas shielded welding, it puts a envelope of gas around where you're welding, and so there's no oxidation. The CO2, that's the whole idea, is that you're getting rid of the oxygen. So you're having CO2 and argon, and that provides a nice bubble for that weld to work, and then it doesn't oxidize and make slag and all this stuff that makes a weld joint bad. Flux core does it through a whole, I don't even know how flux core works, quite honestly, but it's got flux, if you know what flux is from welding for
plumbing. I really want to talk about
plumbing,
a flux capacitor.
Flux capacitor.
I mean,
so if you've ever done plumbing welding, brazing with solder and the flux, then it sucks the metal into there. Mm-hmm. But what happens is it just splatters and it just leaves a hot mess, man. Literally a hot mess. And it's a lot more smoky as well. So I would highly recommend to go shielded MIG if you can. And the Lincoln. So the Lincoln I've got two of them. I've got the 210MP, which is awesome. It is a higher end machine, but it's multi-process, so you can TIG and MIG with it, and it can run off 110 volts, which is great. But I've also got the 140 HD, which is a much cheaper version. I think the 210MP is probably like $1,200. You can get it on sale for like $1,000 on a once in a blue moon. And then I think the 140 HD is like in the $500 to $600 range. But that one is like it's really solid. Like if you compare that to a Harbor Freight one, it blows it away. You don't want to buy the $90 Harbor Freight one, man. Just don't do that. So.
Frank Molden on here says, I weld. Starters should start with MIG, in his opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. You concur?
I concur.
He concurs.
I
have questions over here.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So Jesse also started with a question. It's very helpful. Mm-hmm. Said, so with my project, sometimes the feel and look seems different. Is it me, or do different brands of sandpaper make different sand quality?
Yeah, for sure. They'll have different sand quality, but it also could be just how old the paper is as well. So if you're not changing your paper, a 150 grit can quickly turn into a 220 grit because it just doesn't have enough paper. It's just a less effective 220 grit. So it's probably more likely than not. Was it feel?
Look and feel?
Look and feel. So from a look,
yeah.
Wood is going to be, that's going to be your biggest differential, is going to be literally tree to tree. Because we have our oak dining table is white oak, and the boards, like board to board to board, is very different. And even you can see the maple even on our bench top here.
Yeah.
Board to board, you're going to have lighter and darker. So the look is, even if you're building with pine, whatever it is, pine, walnut, any of them, they're going to look very different tree to tree, or can potentially look very different. And then as far as the feel goes, honestly, they are going to be a little bit different, but a 220 grit's basically a 220 grit. In that instance, it's probably going to be more the application of the finish. So, water-based is going to feel different than oil-based if you don't come back and raise the grain and knock it down on water-based, because that will raise the grain of the wood. So there's a lot of different things that can change the look and feel of a project.
Gotcha.
All right, we got Hill Country Handcrafted over on IG says, do I have any recommendations on refinishing a knotty alder front door that's developed a couple of those loose knot holes? You have to secure the knots first, right? So if you've got knotty alder, assuming that it was finished with a natural finish, you would use an epoxy to set the knots in place, or knock the knots out and backfill it with epoxy, either way, depending upon what kind of look you want. And then depending upon the finish you used, if you use something like an oil-based finish, like not a polyurethane or a varnish, then you might be able just to sand that area and blend it. But if you used a varnish, a film finish, then you're going to have to refinish the whole thing, like sand the whole thing and reapply. So that's the beauty of, like, if you use something like a Rubio Monocoat, you can just rub the part out that needs the repair and kind of feather it in, and then just go right on top, and it blends right in. That's the beauty of those finishes. Yes.
And it smells good.
And I want to eat it every time I use it.
Yeah. You do.
It smells so good. All right, well, we're gonna wrap it on Instagram.
That's right.
And just go there, MJ Cardinal. So I'm going to catch up on some comments on here on Instagram. We are over on YouTube right now. Fix This Build That Live is the YouTube channel. Please come over, and we would love to hang out with you. And we're going to be on there for a little bit longer. Let's see here. Max Loader Lumber Rack. I don't know, but it will hold anything that I put on it. Jeremy, what's up, my man? Jericho Home in the house. Colin, what is up? Spar urethane. Oh, we did it with spar urethane. Yeah, you're just going to have to refinish the whole thing, Bubs. Sorry about that. And Andrew Lawrence. Andrew, if you want to answer that question, come on over to YouTube. We are heading over there now. We're already over there now. But please come join us on YouTube for all the folks that are on Instagram. I'm going to be going for another 20-30 minutes answering a bunch of questions. So head over there. Fix This Build That Live is the YouTube channel and is our second channel. So we'll see you over there. Bye.
All right.
All right. Enough with that platform. Yes.
Oh, all right.
Although they were pumping the questions.
They were. Yeah.
Instagram's always good for some questions.
They are good. Now, I got a question, but I think it was maybe meant for you instead.
Okay.
It says, Susan, this is from Kevin.
Yes.
What would be the correct round wood equivalent, RWE, conversion factor for cross-laminated timber?
Wow.
CLT. And I told him, I just put something.
1/345th.
I mean, it seemed like an answer of
Kevin,
sorts.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Correct wood.
Well, earlier.
Correct round wood equivalent. I've
Right.
never heard of an RWE conversion factor for
it's fancy.
cross-laminated timber. So just from the way you're saying this, I feel like you're from not the U.S.
Not the U.S.
Because typically we don't say timber here. So I'm wondering if that's like a metric thing.
I don't know.
I've literally never heard that before. So
Well, I was also being told that I know lots of things about the business. So I think I was being put to the test.
yeah.
And I failed.
I think
but
he
at
was
least you didn't know either. That makes me feel
I think
really
it was just
good.
messing with you.
I know. I think so too. Maybe you made
Yes.
that up. I don't know.
Who knows? But
maybe,
yeah, I would love to know what a round wood equivalent is.
Yep.
You know, maybe it's like I can't even come up with a good joke for that. A
I know.
round wood equivalent.
I don't know what that
Ooh,
means.
guys,
Oh.
I did. You know what? I did something today, and I wish
man.
I had have filmed it because it was kind of cool. So I was having issues.
So it was good.
I was having issues with my panels on my table saw, and just on all my cuts, where I was getting on a longer cut, like I was making a lot of 30-inch rips, and I was getting a ever so slight banana.
A banana.
A banana cut. That's banana. That is very. That's like a round wood equivalent, banana equivalent, and it was like very minimal, but enough where it was noticeable. It was probably from the top, or a wide smile, from the top to the bottom was probably, let's call it a 30-second, but is enough. Whereas like if you're ripping multiple things from a board, that it could start getting out of hand as well, because it kind of telegraphs across as you rip more and more out of the board. And so I noticed this, and it was really aggravating me because then as I tried to assemble, some of the stuff was rocking. And what I realized is that, and I've known this for a very long time, and I've just never dealt with it for some reason, which is stupid, that my table saw blade was not parallel with the miter slots.
Oh, that's what I found you out here doing. Right?
Oh, she totally freaked me out. Yeah,
I
I
did.
was jamming, and then like turn around, and she's like sitting in the chair behind me, just like sitting. And I'm like, ah! What are you doing?
I came to show you ears too. It's so creepy.
Oh yeah, that was super weird.
Yeah.
But so what I did is I made that adjustment. So if you're having excessive burning, first clean your blade. That's the number one thing. But I always had burning on the offcut, and the reason I was having burning on the offcut is mine was tilted out to the left on the back, so away from the fence on the back. And so, it was something weird was happening there. But anyway, I would always get burning on the offcut. And that's because as it's coming through, the blade is, if you're looking at it from above, I'm pushing through like this, and then it's splitting, and the offcut is rubbing up against the back when it didn't on the front.
Right.
And so that's the main reason I never dealt with it, is because like the pieces that I was cutting were always clean, and most of the times, I was cutting off a sliver or something. But when I checked it, so what I did is I made a little sled that was it was literally a piece of wood, a piece of plywood, small. It was almost this size, a little bit longer. And then I have a metal, not a metal. I have a dial indicator.
Reach.
I've got a dial indicator. So if you guys have not,
this is what he was doing when I came out, and I didn't want to startle him, but he had his isotune things in. What were you listening to?
Maroon 5.
Maroon 5. Oh, that's right. And so like he couldn't hear me, and he's sitting there like fiddling with the table saw, and I was like, I don't want to scare him. Yeah, because then what if you I don't know, could you hurt yourself there?
No.
Well, whatever. So I just kind of sat and waited. It was creepy. It was kind of fun though.
So I bought this from Grizzly long time ago. I'm sure they still sell it. But a dial indicator, if you've never seen one before, what happens is when you push up, you can see the dial there. And so each little tick is a a 100,000th of an inch.
Man.
And so as that goes around, there you go. You can see, it's like how it's off. And so when I ran it, I made a little jig because, and it was silly. I should have done it a different way, but I did it the way I did it. And I had this little guy on there, and I basically so this is a magnetic base. It's like one of the on-off mag switch type bases. And I made a little base for it and then hooked it up. And then I put it in the miter slot, and then I pushed it and watched the run out. And I had like 20 thousandths of run out, which is
20
over the course of like 6 inches, 5 inches. And that is not good.
No.
And so I looked at, like, they wanted lower, which would have been like maybe 8 inches of measurement. They wanted it to be 2 thousandths.
Who's they?
SawStop. So okay. I went to the SawStop website to see how I should do it.
And
so
what did you
I was 10 times as much as they wanted.
You are an
over
overachiever.
A shorter length.
Oh gosh.
And so I adjusted it. The actual the adjustment on the SawStop is actually very easy. You basically you loosen the bolts that are holding.
You turn the power off.
You turn the power off. I did unplug it and everything. I was like,
start with step
when
one.
I change blades, I normally just hit the main switch, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be like all up in here and messing around, so I unplugged it as well. Mm-hmm. And when I say the main switch, I mean like there's a power toggle, but then there's also like a main power flip switch. So it's like,
the bigger one.
It would take two things to pull to turn it on. When I turn off it at the,
you couldn't just accidentally bump something and turn it on.
When I'm making the blades, I'm making the blades. I'm making the blades.
Time to make the donuts.
Anyway, if you've not done that, try it out, because like on the adjustment for the SawStop, you just unbolt the trunnion assembly, and it's got this pivot pin in the middle. They make it super easy, and then you basically tighten a screw this way and loosen this one if you need to shift it that way, and do the opposite if you need to move it. If you have a cabinet saw, or heaven forbid, you have a benchtop saw, it's
heaven forbid.
I'm just reaming on everything today.
It's
much harder.
Tell us how you really feel.
It's much harder to do because on a contractor saw, which I used to have, the trunnion is mounted to the top because there's no real cabinet to have it, and it's just a lot more difficult to do. But anyway, I did that, and I got it all.
You got it all figured out.
Oh man! And now it is like
butter.
It's like butter.
Like butter.
And so I am super excited about that. But if you have your table saws all messed up, and you can't figure it out, try getting a dial indicator, because I don't know. I think I bought it. It was probably like $35-$40 or something like that. But it's a great little tool to have for setting. Like when you really need to get precision, and not just use a combination square and then like measure the front of the blade and the back of it. But even doing that, I could tell it was off. So I finally did that after, how long have I had that saw?
Oh gosh.
I think I got it in 2016.
I was going to say 6 years, but I guess not.
I may have got it.
It might have been.
But no, because I was looking for a couple of years when we were here. So I probably got it 2015 or 2016. So it's been at least 4 years since I've had it, and that's the first time I ever did that.
Yeah. Well, my goodness, it was time. Matt wants me to tell you. He says hi.
Jimmy James says, question W.
Yeah, just
Answer.
W. Win.
P.
Yeah. Matt wants to say hello. He finally made it.
Yeah, Matt, what's up, my man?
Yes. So he's here.
Excellent. Excellent.
We have some people that joined us.
Jeremy Hill came over to YouTube.
Yes,
we got him.
And so did Dalton D.
Oh, fantastic.
And maybe some of the people that did not inform me, but they did.
I know.
So,
dude, Jeremy.
Appreciate that.
We've been missing you. Jeremy Hill's got the best afro ever. He's just like this big curly mess of.
Really?
Yeah. It's like country boy hair, so it's like wears the ball cap and then it just like flips out.
Oh no, that's like the style.
Oh yeah, Jeremy.
Gosh,
you are so in vogue right now.
At least around
if you didn't
here,
even know it.
All
mullets
these
are back
teenage boys.
They're doing the mullet too.
They're doing the mullet, but then also they have their hat on, and it's just.
It's just.
If you had like thin, not thin, but like fine straight hair, and you were like a 17-year-old boy right now,
you're out.
You can't pull off that look.
You're not cool.
No, sorry.
But not Jeremy. Jeremy's got it going on.
No.
Yeah.
That's good. It's timeless, right?
It is.
Anyway, what were we doing?
Natural lumber, while the other is engineered.
They're discussing the whole thing.
Golden Dog Woodworks. It was not Arbor Wobble. Arbor Wobble. That's kind of fun to say. Arbor
that is
Wobble.
Kind of fun.
It's just kind of like sits in your mouth. Arbor Wobble. Because I measured the blade at different points, and it was the same. You know, it was linear. So arbor. And I measured it. So the way you can tell if your blade has arbor wobble, and what arbor wobble is if you're not familiar with the terminology.
Did not know this was a thing.
I'm trying to get a little prop, as I always like to do. Let's just imagine this is your arbor. So your arbor is the shaft that is connected
arbor is on the run.
That is driven by the motor of your table saw. And the arbor is what the blade goes on. So the blade goes on,
then you
put the nut
thing?
on.
That's the arbor?
Boop. Yeah, that's exactly how it sounds whenever I put the blade on. Boop.
It's like operation, like when you're like,
so that's the arbor shaft. And when you thread the nut on there, there's typically a washer and then a nut. Sometimes if you get junk in between the blade and the arbor, you can get arbor wobble like that. Or
it sounds like it should be a dance. Let's do the
arbor
wobble.
Wobble. Or if it is not lined up properly with the table or the other thing, or if it's up or down tilted. The way that you can figure that out, though, because what would mean is it's basically the...
It'd be like hitting weird, right?
Well, it's the arbor, the flange on the arbor, so like the inner flange that you would butt the blade up against. If your arbor is out, we'll just over-exaggerate it, then it would be like that, right? And so when your blade is up here, but then if you rotate it, because the arbor rotates, when you rotate the blade and the arbor, it would then be out the opposite way. Because, if it's... Because it's not like... You know what I'm talking about, right?
It's not like that.
Not like that. Yeah. Like if you were doing like that, and then you rotated that 180 degrees, it would then be out that way. And so that's the way you find out if you have an arbor issue is you measure it on the top, then you rotate the blade 180 degrees and you measure it again. And if that has any run out, then that's basically twice the run out of your arbor because it's obviously overcompensating it because it's only out half that much because that whole thing.
Plot twist.
Somebody's done the arbor wobble.
No, Jeremy cut his hair. After all that, but you know what, Jeremy? That just means
I want proof
that you're not going to be
are you gonna do a reels
in vogue with all the teenage boys right now. I mean, like if you wanted to go hanging out around here, it's hanging out at Chipotle. We like to call it Chipotle. And they're all just congregating there.
Cut your hair.
Cut them. How long was it?
I mean,
Jeremy could probably tell us. It was his hair.
Yeah.
It
was.
It was a lot. Non-existent hair.
Yeah.
I hope
curly
you did
hair.
Like
a reels.
Like back in the day. We need to find
the
picture. No, you have a picture of you with a mullet.
Yeah,
from back in the day.
We've got mullet pictures. My hair used to be down to
and then you picked it out in college, and it was like a big afro. Right?
I did. I picked out.
Well, you didn't pick it out.
It was like
some girls picked it out for him.
That's true. If you guys know.
Bob Ross.
Yeah.
That was a different kind of curl.
The guy, I forget what the heck the guy's name is. The guy from Frono's Photo. It's a YouTube channel. Frono's Photo.
I know who you're talking about.
He's got the big afro.
With the photography? Yeah.
That's kind of what my hair looked like back in the day.
Back in the day.
Golden Dog says, best entertainment. It's definitely better than the game. Question, what is your opinion on the glue line rip saw blade? Are they better at creating glue line joints or regular blade? Jimmy St. James.
By the way, it's a fantastic name.
Jimmy
St. James. You sound like a spy. Jimmy St. James,
It sounds like a Teamster or something.
Or a Teamster.
Jimmy St. James.
You could be a spy or or a woodworker.
I've not used one, so I don't have firsthand experience. But yes, like the theory and everything. I mean, it works.
Sorry.
What?
Brian's cracking me up.
All right, chill out.
No, it's so funny. He said, now that people are...
Dwight Schrute. Question.
We've been watching The Office recently. Question. All right, I have to stop. I just got Dwight in my head now. Mm-hmm. Sorry, go ahead and answer the question, though.
Yes. So You completely threw me off.
It's right there. Sorry. Yeah. Blue
so
and
yes,
things.
they do, because it's for ripping, right? So when you're cutting with the grain, I know this is plywood, but let's just imagine it's solid wood. When you're cutting with the grain, you don't have to worry about the finish as much because you're not going cross grain and severing the fibers. You're kind of, splitting, like, always think about them straws. You're splitting a couple straws that are side by side. So you don't have to worry much about finish. And then the less teeth in the wood, the stronger it cuts. And it can make really nice, clean edges. I've never used one personally, like I said, but I know a lot of people that do. And they're supposed to be great. And if you have, you do need, you do need to make sure that you're what am I trying to say? You want to make sure that you have enough power, because it takes more, because you're taking bigger bites because there's less teeth. So as it clears through, the board travels further before it hits the next tooth. So, if you're trying to run on like a benchtop saw, you might have issues, but.
Yes.
All right, what am I missing here?
No, just more Dwight Schrute stuff. But that's right.
Dwight's the best.
But also, Dad It Yourself says, put the tool away and close the cabinet door. It's bothering him.
Is that bothering you?
Then I looked and I was like, yeah, I guess that would be kind of bothersome.
I'll just close it, Scott.
We'll just close it.
Well, you're all right.
Yeah. Joel's got a question.
I feel the same way.
I know. He's like, just close the door. Do you have any tools or recommendations for tuning a contractor saw?
Yeah, so if you're trying to tune a contractor saw, I never had to do it because maybe I did do it and I was like chasing it. They make these little, like racking my brain. This was years and years and years ago. Like after the move, I think I had to do this. So it was like 7 years ago. When we moved here, I had a contractor saw, and in the move, it got knocked out of whack.
Yep. Sounds about
right. And so basically the way that I did it, and like I said, you basically have to adjust the trunnion to the table. So it's like the trunnion, meaning, the whole mechanism that holds the arbor shaft and moves it up and down and side to side, or angled, is that's bolted up to the top instead of the cabinet. And so you have to loosen those. And then basically what I did is I just got a block of wood and a mallet, and I was like, you would keep one. So that's the bad thing. Like, it being on a cabinet makes it a lot easier because there's a rotating pin that is meant for exactly this. On a contractor saw, that doesn't happen. So you have to leave one tight and like use that as the pivot point. And so let's say if it was a 4-point, I would leave this one tight. And then if I needed to move it in this way, then I would pound on this corner. If I needed to move it that way, I would pound on this corner and have all three of those loose. But they make these little doodads that go. I'm trying to think. I have no idea what they're called.
Doodads.
They're doodads. They are. They make these little doodads that go basically on the nut, and they have a threaded. So it does what a cabinet saw does, and it goes up under the nut, and then it goes against the trunnion or whatever. I know I'm explaining this horribly, but there's a set screw, so then you can do fine adjustments. So instead of beating it with a mallet, you're just twisting a screw and it'll push it. And hopefully, I don't know, maybe is anybody if they've used them, but it's probably from like Lee Valley or one of those guys, but it's probably called like a contractor saw arbor adjustment or something like that. But yeah, it's a little tool that I never bought because I am cheap, and I just had my little mallet and was like ding ding. So I was chasing it back and forth, where it's like much more fine if you can just use a screw and then you can just turn. Oh,
makes sense.
Back it off. Yeah. Arbor adjustment, contractor saw arbor adjustment. It's probably got some fancy name.
Like that.
Magic fingers.
Magic fingers.
I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
I have no idea. Let's see here. Jeremy, would a blade stiffener offset the arbor wobble or just extend it over a greater radius? It would, yes. It would extend. It would increase your run out, Jer, because if you imagine, whenever I think about like run out, I always like to think of like extremes. And so if you have...
Picture just went out.
What?
The picture just went out.
Oh, it's fine.
No, they said the picture just went out.
Oh, the picture just went out?
And they said, are they forcing us back on Instagram now?
Oh, no.
So
it says excellent connection.
Yeah, doesn't look
Can you guys hear us?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Just no picture. I bet they can hear us because it's a different thing. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I wonder if the camera ran out of battery.
Oh, no.
I think it may have.
Did it really?
Yeah, it did. All right, guys.
They can hear us.
Camera ran out of battery. I'm going to run. Well, you know what? Yeah. We're at 9:55.
We're pretty close.
I'm going in and getting it because
Jeremy, that's what they were saying. It said Luminex. Panasonic battery is dead.
Yes.
I was like, why is he saying this?
I will be right back. Just entertain them with the story.
All right. I could sing.
I owe Jared that explanation.
Let's see. Okay, so what could I talk about?
Too slow.
I know. I can't. I'm not good under pressure. He's back. He's back. But they can't hear you because you don't have your microphone on.
I know. They can hear me. I'm loud.
All right. They said, we will wait.
Going in.
I hope so.
That's another thing that happens when we're running
late. I tell you what. We were. All right. So now what happened?
Well, it's all right. We have that back up.
Oh, there it is.
Boom.
Well, that was fun. Thank you for staying with us. You're like,
again,
it's
one of
fine.
the things
like,
when you're
no,
running late, you leave the battery.
You don't check things like the battery.
So let's say this is the flange of the arbor.
Yes.
And if it has any run out, then
are we still talking about the contractor saw thing?
We're just talking about run out in general.
Okay. Because somebody said pals.
The shaft. That it? Yes, it is.
That was a comment here. That was
pals.
Jimmy St. James.
Contractor saw pals. Jimmy.
Thank you, Jimmy.
That is it.
And he called us out on the battery.
Love it. So if you have run out like this, and then it's gonna rotate, whatever. It's not gonna rotate like that. It's gonna rotate like that. But anyway,
it's gonna wobble.
If you have run out, if you add a blade stiffener, a blade stiffener, if it's gonna be on the outside of the blade, no, it would not do anything to run out because the stiffener goes on the outside of the blade. So you'd have the blade, then the blade stiffener. But if you had something in between the arbor and the blade, then that would extend it, which run out is basically your measurement from your vertical line to whatever point you're measuring the run out at. And so if you measure run out very close to the arbor, it's going to be very small. Right. But if you measure it, and that's what I've talked about in previous episodes, why 12-inch contractor saws are just inherently less accurate. Because if you had then 10-inch, did I say contractor saw? Miter saws.
You did. But yeah,
12-inch miter saws
I think he means
inherently less accurate than 10-inch miter saws because of run out. Yeah. Because if you have any type of run out, if you're measuring it 10 inches, then it's, whatever, 0.003 from there. But if you measure it 12 inches, it just increases with that angle. If you measured it 10 feet up, it would be a foot off, whatever. Not a foot off, but you get what I'm saying. So yes, that's whenever I think about it, I always think about like a line kind of going to infinity, and then you have your vertical line, your axis of rotation, and that's there. By the way, I feel like I'm talking like in bigger terms after watching that stuff made here. Dude is so awesome. If you guys have not seen the YouTube channel, he's blowing up.
It's crazy, and he's funny in a really dry way.
Super dry way.
But it's
YouTube
really
channel
funny.
is called Stuff Made Here.
And
he's like the next Mark Rober, Destin Sandlin, Smarter Every Day. He's like those two guys combined.
It's crazy. We were watching with our kids, and
he makes cooler stuff than Mark Rober does, honestly. Not cool. Maybe
I feel
not
like
cooler.
You're talking trash about Mark Rober here.
Maybe no, I'm not at all.
Okay.
Maybe not cooler, but more like I think Mark likes to go like super detailed, but he also like brings a lot of people in. This guy does it all himself.
Yeah.
And so Mark is a super smart guy.
Oh yeah, they both are. Let's be real.
When I think Mark likes to go to the more extreme of like technology. Because like he did a dart thing where you always hit a bullseye, and he used like all these things, and he just went crazy. The guy from Stuff Made Here did the same thing with a basketball hoop, and it moved to make sure you made it, and he did it with a Microsoft Kinect thing, and Mark Rober used like thousands of dollars worth of these crazy equipment and stuff. And so this dude's just like, yeah, whatever.
I mean, it was cool.
And he's got like 3 milling machines in his
his machines basement. Are crazy.
So if you're a nerd, if you like nerdy stuff, you will Absolutely.
I mean,
loved it.
It was really cool. Our kids liked it too. Like it was fun.
Later. He made a self-hair cutting machine. Jerry, you could have used that.
Yeah, exactly. Hope you didn't pay for that haircut. You could have just built a whole thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. I was going to tell you something.
Keep
I know, yeah. It's like the name of the...
See, that's what... Yeah,
there we go.
Battery goes out and mistakes were made.
Oh, this is a good question. What was the best candy we got?
We were just talking about this.
And I think everyone... Did we? Inside or on here?
Well, inside.
Yes. Everyone maybe say your favorite Halloween candy.
Yeah. Why don't we wrap with your favorite Halloween candy?
Yes.
You know, we do...
Now, I don't know.
We're running up on the 10 o'clock. But I was asking the kids... They're not my favorite. I don't know why. I just thought about it.
They just got so much.
But I was asking if they got any bottle caps.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just like an old school candy.
It's not ever, like, a bottle cap is not the kind of candy that I'd ever be like, ooh, I really need a bottle cap. Or, like, if you're at the store, like, well, let me pick up some bottle caps. But it's like at Halloween, if you find some bottle caps in your bag.
Your money.
That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah. You know, I think
they're kind of they're like a fancier, cooler sweet tart.
This whole allergy thing really crushed Payday and Baby Ruth. I mean, somehow Snickers survived, but I feel like they didn't get any Paydays or Baby Ruths this year.
Oh, last year. Yeah.
Like they got pulled out of the fun size mix.
Our neighborhood all bought their candy at Costco and Sam's Club. I'm assuming it's all the same candy pretty much. And it's all really
Snickers,
nice candy.
Milky Way,
Reese cups. We have
Kit Kat,
a bag of Reese cups.
Reese's cups. Butterfinger.
Twix.
So how did Butterfinger, so Payday and Baby Ruth?
I don't know.
Those are two of my favorites. Like the full on peanut.
Yeah, meanwhile, our daughter has a peanut allergy, so we don't eat it around her, but whatever. Yeah, but I would say, even with the daughter with a peanut allergy, my favorite was probably a Reese cup.
Oh, Almond Joy, Keith.
Stacy said that our next door neighbor, they have a peanut allergy too.
I've crushed a couple
She
of
said
Almond
they
Joys.
don't allow any peanut items in their house because their son gets a little anxious about it, except Almond Joy because it's her favorite, so she smuggles them all in.
Rory's going Almond Joy.
All right, Dots. Oh, Dots. You like Dots? I've never liked Dots.
Almond Joy.
I don't
Jeremy's
understand.
Look at this is the Almond Joy in the house.
What is a Wonder Bar?
What is a Wonder Bar?
Do you guys remember whatchamacallits?
That's what I said. Keith said whatchamacallits.
What? Whatchamacallits? That was like the cool candy to eat when I was on swim team for whatever reason.
Almond Joy.
Almond
I
Joy.
Love it. A Heath Bar. Heath Bar is the toffees. The toffee is nice on that. 100 grand. 100 grand is a good one too. I feel like those are like all.
Brad, do you purposely face the Bud Light label to the camera? Nothing is purposeful here. This is all
that is
just
literally
random.
The direction. Because sometimes they'll have that. That's literally the direction of the mouth.
Baby
today
Ruth,
only.
Snickers.
Next time it'll be the warning label.
Whatchamacallits. Yeah, I'm
Milky Way. I crush Milky Ways. Twizzlers. I mean, it's Dalton D. Mounds are great. Listen, here's the thing, Dalton D.
Heath now Mounds Bar. I do like a Heath Bar. 100 grand. Those are good.
Let's have a conversation here.
What?
Why on earth?
What?
Are the Mounds?
This is an age-old question.
Without the mound.
This is just the first time you're realizing this?
Yeah. Why on earth would they?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense because you would think the mound one would be the one with the almond, but I guess they have Almond Joy. What would they call it? Almond Mound? That's weird. Mounds.
Maybe they just call
it
why
don't
they
just
don't
call
the other one Joy?
Just Joy.
Joy, a Joy bar.
A Joy bar. That
and an Almond
doesn't
Joy.
sound too bad. I don't know. I do like Almond Joy. It's
Mounds
good.
Is kind of dirty too. Like mounds.
We're not going there. 100 grand. Those are
just
great.
Call it lovely lady lumps or something.
Oh my word, Brad, stop.
Like a Black Eyed Peas song or something. I don't know.
Oh jeez. Twix Zero bars.
I've never had a Zero bar.
I have. They're white chocolate, and that's all I remember. I don't really remember much about it.
Mike Cardinal, Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy.
Yes.
Yes.
A Zero bar is the kind of bar that I'll see at the checkout, right? And I'm like,
is it just white chocolate and chocolate chip?
Well, I don't know. Let's see. What's
in a Zero bar,
Jimmy St. James can let us know. But a Zero bar, that's the kind of bar that I'm like,
it's a
who's
mound
buying
of coconut,
this? Like, it's at the checkout. I never see anybody buying the Zero bar. It's Jimmy. Jimmy's buying all the Zero bars.
Zero.
I should have seen that coming. It's a mound of coconut.
It is a mound of
coconut.
Yeah, and Jeremy, you hit it on the head. Guess what? The Mounds don't make the variety pack. It's the Almond Joy.
Yeah.
And also, that's just a great
They are
name.
really good, though.
Almond
it's like,
Joy.
feels like you're at the beach, kind of.
It does.
It's like the perfect amount and like consistency of coconut.
But is there anybody who doesn't just eat the almond off the top?
Who, what?
Like, are you like a savage? Do you
do that?
You don't do that?
You do that?
Of course I do.
Are you serious?
Here's how you eat an Almond Joy.
No.
No. This is how I eat
You eat the almond off the top?
The first bite is
wow.
Is basically the Mounds bite. It's the Joy bite.
It's just the
first bite's the Joy bite.
Yeah.
The second bite, I mean, I'll get a little, but a lot of times I'll just pick the almond off the top.
Who is this person that I've been married to for so long?
So tasty. But then I'll supplement it. Like halfway through the chew, I'll supplement it with the Mound.
Wow. No, but I eat a Twix. Am
I wrong here? Is that not how it's eaten? What do you do? You just bite it in half?
I just eat it. I don't know. It's been a while since I've had one.
You're that type of person who
you're
not cerebral like that. You're just like,
no. If you mean,
that Almond Joy is great.
Do I have a specific strategy for how I eat my candy bar? No, I do not.
Not like your
Although
son,
that's not true.
Or your son eats Oreos.
Oh gosh. He licks
or
everything.
Potato chips.
Yes, but we don't eat together. It's gross.
It's like when you're eating Oreos and then it makes me cringe a bit. It's like you twist it off and it's like if you get a full twist and it's like the whole patty. Twist. And then he takes it and he goes and just right on the front of his teeth. And I'm like,
I don't mind that. I've done that.
I have too, but just watching somebody else do it is like.
Well, watching them eat in general is not usually
if I do
appetizing.
If I do it, there's a big there's a big
like
flat spot.
A snow puddle.
There's a big thing in the middle of my gap in my teeth.
I love your gap. It's great.
It's good for shooting water.
Yeah, I'm sure that is true. Yeah. I'm sure I've seen that. Yeah, see? Brad, that's crazy, dude. Nailbender does it, but Zero is white chocolate and nougat, whatever that is. And put it back in the wrapper. You guys are heathens.
Yeah, no, you should.
Samoa cookies, yes.
Yes.
That is like Almond Joy, or any like Mounds or Joy and Samoa cookies. That is how I like coconut. But I'm never I would not like your mom likes coconut cake. That's too much coconut. Yeah. I want it mixed with chocolate.
It is. I like it too. All right. Wonderful discussion.
This was fantastic. We've learned a lot.
I think it was very
I learned a lot about you.
I mean, apparently I'm a freak. The way I eat Almond
No,
Joys.
Evidently not, because of the weirdos, both of you.
Savage.
Oh,
Mike, that is awesome. Yeah, we got
Coors Light. Yeah.
We have to tell about the Jackpot House.
Yes, we have to tell you about the Jackpot House.
There's this house, they call it the Jackpot House because what has happened is like over the years, like 7 or 8 houses get together and they all converge on one house. And so they just, all the neighbors, and they have these like shining lights and they're like everybody's pointing into the one house. And so they pool all their money. And so they do full-size bars for the kids, and they give away like 2 full-size bars per kid or something crazy. But the other thing they do is shots for the parents. Yes, not influenza shots. Mm-hmm. I'm talking shots. Like Little John
every
shots.
Every year, we're like looking forward to it. We're like, we got to get to that.
But it's always like a themed. It's like a themed
so
shot.
Nice. Like we'll usually take a break there. We like
last year though.
Sit down. No, last year they
it was peanut butter and jelly.
The year before, I forget the name, but it was like a. They're not like messing around with their shots.
Oh yeah, it's not like a.
They will warm you going down on.
I'm thinking of all the.
What?
I was thinking of this video I was watching. All the only thing that's coming to my mind is like all the inappropriately named shots. But
oh yeah.
But it's
lemon
not,
drop. It's
yeah,
like lemon drop.
It's not like a lemon drop.
That's acceptable.
But it's
strong.
Yeah, and so this year's they came up, and Susan, I saw it immediately. I saw the thing.
I couldn't see past the kids.
But they said, "Do you guys want an oatmeal raisin?" And Susan was like,
"It was like an oatmeal cookie," and I was like, "Man."
And she was like, "Oatmeal raisin."
COVID, they made cookies this year. I don't want a cookie. I want a shot, And then I saw that it was a shot, and it was good.
And what was in it? It was Goldschlager and like.
No, it wasn't Goldschlager.
Yes, it was.
Oh, it was Goldschlager.
It wasn't Fireball.
That's right. It was Goldschlager and something else, but it was good.
And it was tasty.
I mean, yeah. And then so they gave us a shot, and then another neighbor gave us a beer. It was delightful. Yeah. That was all. It wasn't like we were getting beers at every house.
And then we came back home and slammed 4 more.
Yeah, then we sat out in the driveway with some friends and hung out. It was really nice.
It was great.
Our kids are bigger, so they can kind of do more.
So I hope you guys had a wonderful Halloween. And, who knows when this video will happen, guys? Let's be honest. Like, it's gonna happen when it happens. You know, you can't rush things like that.
Yeah, you know.
But we'll get it.
We're trying.
So thanks for hanging with us.
Saying what day, right?
We're not.
We're not jinxing. I think we jinxed it last week.
So anyway, but one day I will say for certain is Sunday. Next Sunday we will be here.
We'll be here.
And I'll have some almond joys maybe.
Maybe you can eat them live.
Eat them live. So like, here's the first bite. Cool. Awesome, guys. Have a great week, and we'll catch you guys on the interwebs, wherever you may hang out. I'm like starting to do a bunch on TikTok now. So if you're a TikToker,
who's saying that you're blowing up on TikTok.
If you're a TikToker, come on over. We're almost at 200,000 followers over there. So we like to grow everywhere, and we're having fun. It's obviously a little bit more bite-sized, if you will, to go along with the thing.
I know. Yeah,
you know what I said,
I was reading comments.
Exactly. You looked at me like. So come join us wherever, and we will catch you guys next Sunday. Get out there, build something awesome this week. All right, guys. See you later.
Bye. Eat all your candy.